Okay, so before you watch any more of the video, make sure you have this note sheet and make sure you're on the side that says slope form. So what we're going to do today, instead of graphing just lines, we're going to graph linear inequalities. So an inequality is something that has more than one solution. So it has, let's just say it has lots of solutions, lots of answers. So it doesn't just have one line, it's going to have a whole bunch of answers. What does it mean if a graph is linear? Well, we know that linear means it's a line. And this last question is going to be a little bit new for us. What does a dotted line versus a solid line represent? So when we talk about inequalities, we have less than and greater than. These are going to be dotted lines. So if you see a less than or greater than, it's going to be a dotted line. A dotted line means something like this that I'm drawing there. That's a dotted line. If you have less than or equal to, and then greater than or equal to, these are solid lines. We've been doing those, a solid line. Just a line with no breaks like we've been graphing. All right, so let's see if we can try one. I have the steps down here. Here's our 4 steps that we're going to do with our problems today. So the first one, we're going to say y is less than x plus 3. So the first question you have to ask yourself, is it dotted or solid? So I look at my symbol is less than. So that means this is going to be a dotted line because it's less than. Our second step is we're going to graph, which hopefully you remember how to do. So this one is in slope form. So I'm going to start at 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. And then my slope is 1. So that's up 1 over 1, like that. I could go backwards. So now a dotted line, you draw a dotted line like dashes. It's a broken line. Some people even call it a broken line instead of a solid line. So it looks like that. That's a dotted line or a broken line. So our next thing, this is going to be new, they want you to test a point. Well, the easiest point to test is 0, 0. And what that means is you have to plug it into your inequality. So you're going to put 0 in for y, and oops, it's less than, not equal, sorry. 0 is less than 1 times 0 plus 3. And then we look at this. 1 times 0 right here is 0. So 0 plus 3 is 3. And I have 0 is less than 3. Is that true or false? Is 0 smaller than 3? So it's true. So since it is true, we get to shade where 0 is. So we either have the top of the line or the bottom of the line. And since 0 is on the bottom and our statement was true, we get to shade below or to the bottom of the line. So you literally are just going to take your pencil and you're going to shade all this area. That is an inequality. Instead of graphing a line, you graphed in linear inequality. You can make your shading look better than mine. Mine looks pretty sloppy. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try y is greater than or equal to negative 1/2 x minus 4. So first thing we have to ask ourselves, is it dotted or solid? Well, it's greater than or equal to. Because it has an equal to, it's going to be a solid line. Then we're going to graph like we've been doing. So we go to negative 4, 3, 4, we put a point. And my slope is negative 1/2, so it means I'm going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and put a few points. And then your line is solid, so you're going to draw a solid line through there. And if you need to use a ruler, you can. That's fine. I should be, but I'm not. And now we're going to do our test point. So again, here's 0, 0. I'm going to test that. So I'm going to put in 0 is less than or equal to negative 1/2 multiplied by 0 times 0 minus 4. Anything times 0 is 0, so that's 0. So I get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4. Is that true or false? Is 0 bigger than negative 4? That is true. So we have to decide where we're going to shade. Here's 0, and it was true, so I'm going to shade above the line because 0 was above and it was true. So I shade above, and it's greater than. And get all the way down to the line. So when you look at these, remember at the beginning I said there was many answers? All of this is an answer. This can go on forever up here. Everything up here is an answer. Everything down here is not an answer. All right, let's try another one. Let's try y is less than or equal to negative x minus 1. So again, dotted or solid. Well, it has this equal, so that means it's going to be solid. Next step, we graph. So I'm going to start at negative 1. And for my slope, remember there's a 1 here. So my slope is negative 1. So I go down 1 over 1 like that. I could go backwards. And once I get a few points, then I can draw my line. This one is a solid line. Whoops. Sorry. You can draw your solid line in there. And then we have to test a point. So again, 0 is really easy to use because it's easy to multiply with. So I'm going to use 0. It's right here. So I put 0 is less than or equal to negative 1 times 0 minus 1. Anything times 0 is 0. So I get 0 is less than or equal to negative 1. Now, is that true or false? Is 0 smaller than negative 1? That one is false. 0 is always bigger than negatives. This one is false. So when we go to shade, you see 0 is above the line, and because 0 was false, we're not going to shade above, we're going to shade below because 0 was false. Okay, so now we're going to try a couple more. I just have to get the picture of them on the screen. All right, so let's try y is greater than 2x plus 1. So first thing, is this going to be a solid or dotted line? So it'll be dotted or broken, however you want to say that. And then we graph. Our graph starts at 1. Our slope is 2. So we go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. I put some points in, and now you're going to draw in your broken or dotted line. And we got to test a point. So let's use 0 again. Here's 0. I can still use it. It's right there. All right, so 0 is greater than 2 times 0 plus 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is just 1. Is 0 greater than 1? Is 0 bigger than 1? That is false. 0 is here, but it was false. So 0 was on the bottom of the line, but it was false. So I need to shade the top or above the line. All right, so the next two I'm going to show you are special cases. This first one is y is less than or equal to 3 over 2x. I'm supposed to say 3. So first of all, again, is this going to be dotted or solid? It has the equals, so it's solid. Then I'm going to graph. Well, this one starts at 0 because there's nothing there, so that means I start at 0. There's no y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. So then I go up 3 over 2. And I can do that again. I could go this way. And I draw in my solid line. So this one is special because now I need a test point. But I can't use 0 this time because 0 is right there and it's already on the line, so I can't use that. So I need to pick a different point. So I pick a point far away. Maybe like, I don't know, this one right here. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just use 4, 0. We'll use this one right here. That point is 4, 0. That's the point we're going to use. So that means the y is 0. So here's my test point. The y is 0 is less than or equal to 3 over 2 times 4. If you forgot how to do this, you multiply. So 3 times 4 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. So you get 0 is less than 6. Is that true? Is 0 less than 6? That is true. So because my test point was on this side of the line or below the line and it was true, then I shade where my test point was. Alright, so our next special case is when I just have like y is less than negative 1. Let's change that. Let's make it negative 3, just so it's easier to see on my screen. So first, solid or dotted. This one is dotted or broken because there's no equal. And then our second step is to graph. Well, this is just a horizontal line. So I go to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and I put a broken horizontal line or dotted like that. And then I need a test point. It's less than that. Well, let's just do a test point. Let's use 0 again. But this time I only have the y value, so I only have to put 0 in for y because there's no x. So I get 0 is less than negative 3. And you decide if that's true or false. Well, 0 is not smaller than negative 3. 0 is actually bigger, so this would be false. 0 was above the line, and it was false, so I need to shade below the line. Alright, so what I need you to do is stop the video, look back at that stuff, and then you're going to turn your paper over, and we're going to try the same thing with standard form.